Look at the sunset. Lake Havasu. I'm telling you, Lake Havasu always has these stunning sunsets. My goodness, just insane. Like I see colors here that I just don't see anywhere else. So this is disconcerting. I'm driving in from my camping spot. My scooter starts sounding weird. And it starts sounding like another exhaust thing. And I'm like, oh crap, and it's intermittent. And I come out and I notice that this looks broken.
It's like, you know the bleeder? The blue bleeder? Okay, so if I bleed it, it's not stopping.
Lots of people camping to the left. Lots of people over there. Look at that. There is the first sign of Lake Havasu. Terrible roads. Arizona. My goodness. So driving through this part, I can still see in my mind's eye the very first time that I drove this route. I made it to Lake Havasu. Look at the sunset. Every time I come down here, there's this amazing sunset. Just look at that. Crazy. Long drive, but I made it. I made it to Lake Havasu. It's not a long drive. It just was kind of felt long because the roads are so terrible here. My gosh, they're just, Arizona has the crappiest roads. Idaho has the best roads of all the places I've been to. So when I'm here in Lake Havasu, I always like to come to the Planet Fitness, which is right there. I'm just gonna walk down to the bridge because the bridge, the London Bridge, is just down the street. Take a look at that. Season's greetings in Lake Havasu. So here's the major thoroughfare, north to south, that you walk over to get to the London Bridge. And then the London Bridge is just up ahead. Wow, it is bright. Walking into the sun down here in Arizona in December. Wow, bright, bright, bright. Here it is, here's the London Bridge. Walk down out of the sun, and there it is. World famous London Bridge. I made it from Bullhead City down to Lake Havasu. I'm just down here walking around. It's been like 75, almost 80 today. It's amazing for December. I love coming down here. So this waterway was built specifically for the bridge. This was all desert. And when Robert McCulloch bought the bridge and brought it over here, they constructed this to have, you know, something for the bridge to go over, basically. Check out these Christmas ornaments. Those are the biggest Christmas ornaments I've ever seen. How awesome is this? And a big balloon of Rudolph, the red-nosed reindeer. Look at that. It's 78 degrees in Lake Havasu in December. So I have just enough light to get back and get out to my campsite. Oh, the sunsets here are just amazing. And I can smell the fire. It actually smells kind of nice just to have a little bit of smoke in the air. You know, a campfire type of smoke. So my scooter malfunctioned. I was on my way into Lake Havasu this morning on the scooter, and the roads here are pretty rough. Man, I'm telling you. I started hearing something kind of weird. And as I was driving over bumps and stuff, I started hearing the engine get really loud and boomy for a second. And I could tell something wasn't right, and I was like, oh crud, here we go again. Because if you watched my videos of me being in Boise, I had a malfunction in my scooter up there. So I got to the coffee shop this morning, the Starbucks, and I looked at it, and in fact there was a crack in the tailpipe. It's going to be hard to see. Right down here, it was cracked. So this is disconcerting. I'm driving in from my camping spot. My scooter starts sounding weird. And it starts sounding like another exhaust thing, and I'm like, oh crap, and it's intermittent. And I come out and I notice that this looks broken. But something's going on, and it's intermittently loud and then normal. Crud. So turns out there's a scooter dealership here, just like half a mile from here. So I'm gonna go take it into them. I already called them. See what's going on. And in fact, there was a bolt missing right there, and this was kind of had play on it, and I thought, what the heck happened? So fortunately I thought, oh, I'm gonna have to go all the way over to Phoenix to get this fixed, because I know there's a scooter place there, because when I was in Phoenix last time at the beginning of the year, I was able to take my scooter in and get the gear oil changed. So I know that there's a scooter place there that could have dealt with it. But you know, the other day I was driving around. I actually took my RV in the other day just so I could run a bunch of errands that really required my RV, like getting food. I wanted to get new water bottles, just a bunch of things. You know, it's just easier to take the RV in at some point. So I noticed when I was driving through just sort of this dense downtownish sort of area that there was like a scooter power sports type of place. So I thought, okay, you better make a mental note of that. I called them, and it turns out that in fact they do service exactly my model. In fact, they used to sell exactly my model. Okay, so I just brought the scooter in. Home of the Twisted.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around.
Let's see, Twisted Power Sports. So they've got scooters there and motorcycles. Main entrance is over here.
Something.
It sounds like an exhaust, you know, like if you have a break in the exhaust and it suddenly gets really loud and boomy.
Okay, yeah, we'll register right away.
And yeah, it was like 10:30 this morning, and they were literally just 2 or 3 blocks down the street. It's amazing. It's kind of amazing. So I took it down there, and a guy was able to look at it right away. And in fact, the exhaust manifold had broken because that stabilizing bolt had come out someplace. Okay, somebody's coming out to take a look at it. I don't know if this is a crack right there.
It's busted right now.
Oh, dang. like that. So that's probably what it is. This just suddenly this morning happened, and I'm guessing it's probably been happening.
The problem is right there, a bolt fell out.
Oh my gosh.
And then the shaking, jiggling bumps and stuff is what snapped it in half.
Oh, dang.
We could weld it, but you see how it broke right on this side of the weld. It's going to be probably a chance of it just crack around the weld again. So you either got that option, weld it, put a bolt in there, or you get a different pipe.
Does that mean replacing, you have to replace this entire
Everything, yeah. The whole unit on there.
So what do you think is, I mean, that's probably the best solution.
Absolutely, yeah. It's like I said, I can weld it, but I can't guarantee that it's not going to crack again. You know?
Right. But the good thing is he was able to weld it. And he told me, he said, the thing about a weld is that it may hold for 10 years, but it also may not hold. And he says, you could take a chance with it. It cost $70 for him to weld it. So I actually did both. I did the long-term fix and the short-term fix, which was probably the most expensive way of doing it, because getting this new thing right here, getting this whole new thing, this exhaust manifold, that was a $300 purchase that I wasn't planning on, but that is the proper way of fixing it. So I don't know what would have caused that to happen, but the good thing is I was able to get it fixed. So I had to order the new part. I paid for it, and they're ordering it, and they said it should be in, you know, the next 5 days or so. Okay, so today I'm taking the RV in. Oh, okay. I'm taking my scooter in to get this replaced. They called me, and this thing has come in. It's this whole assembly. You know, I have a feeling this weld would have held, but I had to make a decision. Do I spend the money and get a complete replacement for this entire assembly, or do I just hope that a weld hold? And he says it's actually a pretty easy thing to install, like half an hour to install. And it was kind of funny because the woman that was working with me, she says, well, you can keep that because you can just use that as a backup, you know, in case this other one fails. So that's probably what I'll do. I'll just keep it as a backup because the muffler itself is working. Okay. Should be all fixed now. Wait, look at that thing. Pretty bike. Harley Davidson. Yay, all shiny and new. One of the things on the original one was that this thing rattled, had come loose and rattled a lot. So a nice side benefit is that this won't rattle. Season's greetings. I love that. Okay, so I'm in the right lane. Sometimes like propane tanks are just in awkward places. Okay, so no one's there, so that's good. Oh, I went up on the curb. I need to get propane. When the fellow tried to remove the propane tank hose, the propane tank kept shooting out propane, and it was backfilling into, I guess, what they call the bleeder valve. And he was confused, and at first I didn't know what was going on, and then he kind of explained to me that it was backfilling from the propane tank back through the bleeder valve system. So the little blue handle, every time he would turn it, propane would come back out. So there's a little cap that you cover that propane intake valve, and we got that on and it stopped. But that, it isn't right. The propane shouldn't come out. As soon as he takes that nozzle off, then there's an internal mechanism that prevents a backflow of propane, and something had malfunctioned with that. So as soon as I left, I got on the phone and I called a couple of RV places, and I managed to get a guy on the phone at a small RV repair shop, and I explained to him. He said that's probably what it was, and the next day I had made an appointment with him to go in and have the guy look at it. Okay, so I'm heading to the RV place, and it turns out I looked up the address and they're just around the corner. So that's a big bonus.
Starting route to 1575 Dover Avenue. Proceed to Kiowa Avenue, then turn right.
Okay. Right in the middle of the industrial area.
Right to Dover Avenue, then turn right.
Okay, now the question is finding parking. Oh, there it is. Bullhead RV. See an RV there. 1575. Okay, and there's street parking here. Look at that thing. Wow, that's a diesel pusher. It's huge. Okay, so he's coming to take a look at it. So we're gonna go have a look. So it was right here, you know, obviously that, sorry, I put that on there just to hedge my bets, just to make sure it didn't fly off.
Not a big deal.
So I've been out on BLM land, so I've just been running everything, and then, yeah, see, like that.
That's deletion.
Yep. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. Dude, that's amazing. So did it just get stuck?
What it is that the way that device that they put in there, it's got a nipple on it, right? And it goes in there and it pushes on that. And that, it's spring loaded. It's got a valve. And that can get cockeyed every now and then, depending on how wore out or what their tip is like, or when he was taking it on or off.
Yeah.
You know, if he was in a goofy position and it came off crooked,
Yeah.
if he would have just taken his machine and went bop, bop,
Yeah.
straight,
Yeah.
it would have sealed it. Go to Harbor Freight.
Get a
Invest
mallet?
in, no, a mallet. This is a brass hammer.
Oh,
All right, it won't make a spark.
okay.
It
Yeah.
won't.
Good thing, yeah.
Okay, so you could hit it. Whack.
And just in case that happens.
If it does it again, you just say, hold on. You just come under here right where I just hit it. And now you saw how hard I hit it.
Yeah.
Not that hard.
Yeah.
Didn't need to. And you can just crack it once and, you know, hopefully it works for you again.
So, they said my tank is fine. I came back this afternoon because there was one guy named Dennis. They said is the guy who knows about propane tanks. And so I just came back. They said come back at 3 o'clock, he'll be here. And I showed right up. I didn't film any of this. And the other guy who worked with me explained everything, and Dennis said, oh, no, it's fine. He says every now and then those things get stuck. The valve gets cold, and he says I used to live in Utah, and those things would get cold and they would get stuck and we would whack them. So the guy did tell me to go get a mallet, a brass mallet at Harbor Freight. And he says, just if that happens again, just whack it. He says brass does not produce sparks, and so that's why he says you want to get a brass. So I went by, and they sell them at Harbor Freight.